Hello, this is Nathan Carlson coming to you from the 24-Hour Flex Studios. And today we're going to be discussing Cafeteria Basics Part 1. What is a cafeteria plan? It's also known as a flex account, an FSA, or a flexible spending account. These are all employee benefit plans that save taxes and significant taxes. Here's an example. Say someone has an adjusted gross income of $50,000. In that case, a federal tax rate of about 15%. A state tax rate will assume 5%, and Social Security of 7.65 for a total tax rate of 27.65%. Further assume that this employee participates in the cafeteria plan and puts $1,000 a year into the plan. This person would save $276 in taxes. Pretty significant. Here are the enrollment rules. You can enroll prior to the start of the plan year, or during the plan year if you have a family change of status, or if you're a new employee, you can enroll when you are first eligible. And you need to check with your Human Resource Department regarding these rules. Also, ask them for an enrollment form. It's important that you note that the enrollment decision is binding for the remainder of the plan year unless you have a change of family status, which includes birth, death, or adoption of a child, a change in your legal married status, which includes marriage, divorce, death of a spouse, legal separation or annulment. If you have a termination or commencement of employment by you, the employee, or your spouse, that's a change in status, or a change in work schedule, including a reduction or increase in hours worked by the employee, spouse, or dependent, or any other change in employment status that affects eligibility for benefits. And that last clause is very important. If your dependent no longer is a dependent, that is a change in eligibility and it's a change in family status. Change in residence or work site of the employee, spouse, or dependent accompanied by a gain or loss of insurance coverage as a result of the move. And there are several change statuses that affect only the daycare portion. This includes a change in daycare providers that results in a significant change in daycare cost, or if your current daycare provider has a significant change in cost, that would be a change in status. There are two flex accounts, the medical flex account and the daycare flex account. You can choose to participate in one or both of these accounts, but money cannot move from one account to the other. Here's how the money flows. After you enroll in the flex plan, each pay period money comes out of your paycheck and is deposited into the flex account. Here, the money is used to pay eligible expenses from this account. What are some of these eligible medical expenses? Doctor's office visit charges, insurance copays, prescription drugs, and dental expenses such as exams and fillings, x-rays, orthodontia, and braces. These are ideal expenses for cafeteria plans. Also, vision expenses including exams and glasses, contact lenses and the lens solutions, chiropractors, acupuncturists, and thousands of other expenses are eligible. These are outlined in your enrollment materials, in your enrollment kit, and also on the 24-Hour Flex website. Over-the-counter drugs are eligible only through December 31st, 2010. Thereafter, they are ineligible unless you have a doctor's prescription. This does not apply to over-the-counter medical supplies. So let's explain the difference between a drug and a medical supply. Aspirin, Tylenol, antacids, Claritin, these are all examples of medical drugs or medicines that will be ineligible unless you have a doctor's prescription after December 31st. However, Band-Aids, ACE wraps, crutches, walkers, wheelchairs, medical devices such as blood pressure, these are eligible medical supplies and they will continue to be eligible after December 31st. Common ineligible expenses include vitamins and kindergarten tuition expenses, elective cosmetic surgery, toiletries and personal use items, teeth whitening and veneers. These are all eligible or ineligible medical expenses. Any expenses that are used to improve your general health are also ineligible. The maximum medical flex annual election is established by each employer, so it's important that you check your summary plan description or talk to your human resource department for the maximum amount. The maximum that can be reimbursed is your annual election minus previous reimbursements, and that equals the maximum reimbursement. Let's take a look at an example. Assume your annual election is $1,200. You've been reimbursed already $500. That would mean your maximum reimbursement is $700. Note that the reimbursement is not dependent upon how much you've actually contributed year-to-date to the plan. It's your annual election minus your year-to-date reimbursements. The daycare rules are also very important. First, you must incur the expense so that you and your spouse, if you're married, are gainfully employed. Second, the expenses must be for the well-being and protection of a qualified dependent who is someone under the age of 13 or someone mentally or physically incapable of caring for themselves. The daycare provider can be a private home or a daycare center. However, they must be licensed if care is provided for more than 6 individuals that are not residing at the facility, and the expense cannot be paid or payable to a child of yours who is under the age of 19. The maximum daycare annual election varies with your filing status. If you're married and filing jointly, it's $5,000. If you're single, the maximum amount is $5,000. If you're married and filing separately, the max is $2,500. However, the maximum amount cannot exceed your annual income or your spouse's annual income. The maximum daycare reimbursement is the amount that you have available in your daycare flex account. So it's limited by the actual positive balance of your flex account. You have to choose between the tax credit and the cafeteria plan. There's no double dipping. Your gross wages, this is limited, if your gross wages are greater than $20,000, choose the cafeteria plan. Also check with the tax calculator that's available at 24hourflex.com. This concludes part 1. Take a look at part 2 for the rest of the information. Thank you.